Alright, so I wanted to do a quick video just to show you how I do head sculpts for Pic Fed Evolution. The easiest way is to actually get a software known as FaceGen. Modular is a free software for the demo version, and you could always pay for the full version. The bad thing about the demo version is it does have letters. You can see the FG on the front of it. So hopefully if you do get the free version, you're able to find another software to clear that up and remove it. But I'm just going to show you how to do something real quick. So inside of here, I'm just going to load up an image. And as you can see, it wants a front image, good lighting. You could do a right image if you want to, right side of face and left side of face, up to you. But what I'm going to do is just go in here, and I've got all these references already. Alright, so right here, I have a face reference of Lashley, and I've already cropped this image out. So don't worry about the edges of the face. That won't really matter. The main thing that you want to focus on is lining up these markers. So it tells you exactly where on the face you want to place the markers. So I'm just going ahead and doing that. And give me 1 second to make sure I get all of the spots. There we go. Oh, it's the last one. All right. And it won't be perfect a lot of times, but it'll be something to get you started and at least help you get the head, because the head is one of the more important parts of the figure if you're not really comfortable using the built-in morph system. And there you got it. You see we got the eyes, nose, the mouth, nice detailing. We have the FG still on here, and I'm just going to show you something that you can do to get rid of it. So first thing we need to do is go into File. We want to export it as an FBX, and let's export it inside of here. Export inside of here. And then let me go, and we can close this out now. And I'm going to use ZBrush, because ZBrush is just what I use for sculpting stuff. So you can use Blender or Maya or anything else that you can use to sculpt and kind of clean up the FG, because that FG is going to be a three-dimensional shape on the forehead, and you don't want that. So cool. Boom. So let's go ahead and import. I got to get back to it. All right, here it is. Cool. So here's my head sculpt right here, the FBX file. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And I'm just going to drag it and position it here. Now I need to click edit to get out of there. And I always like to use move as my default. Now I'm just going to go into layers. As you can see, that FG is, you can see it from here. You can see the edges of the FG. You can see how it's kind of pointing, so we don't want that. So what I actually want to do is go in here. I'm going to switch the material to make it white, just so it's a little easier for me to see. I'm going to open up his image on my other monitor so I can use it as reference. And I'm also going to activate symmetry. So this will make it where anything I do on the left side will automatically reciprocate on the right side. And just right away, I'm gonna go in here and holding the shift button and left mouse button, I went ahead and smoothed that FG out. So that won't show up in the figure shape. We'll just have to clean up the texture and it'll be good. Next, I'm going to create another layer, and this is where the move actually becomes handy, because he's got kind of an interesting shaped head. He's got smaller ears. See, he got these smaller ears, and you might not want to put all this detail. I'm just really detail oriented when it comes down to building stuff out. I like it to be as close to exact as possible. So that's gonna do the ears. Need to make that jaw a little more fine, and his jaw is a lot more squared, a little more girth down there. And then the top of the head, it's a really big one. Top of his head kind of goes out, like something like this. And when you're doing stuff like this, it's always good to have a picture from the side view as well, just so you can kind of compare what it looks like, because I'm sure he doesn't look like this from the side. But as this was just for an example, I didn't grab one. I just wanted to kind of show you all how I make head sculpts and the easiest way to make it. So that's actually good enough for what we're doing. I know it's a huge forehead, but it'll work for right now because I'm not uploading this or anything. So let's go ahead and gonna make it Lashley head revised. Let's close that out. And the next thing I want to open up is Maya. So this is something that the next step is actually going to help us get rid of the neckline, since I won't be doing anything with that. I like for the figures to have no neck, just the head. So give me 1 second. Let's open this up. All right. So let's go ahead and import. Let's find that head. Figures. Lashley. All right. So with our head imported into Maya, next thing we want to do is just check for vertices here. I mean these edges. So I like to cut along a nice smooth line. That makes it easier. So I'm just double clicking on an edge, and you can see that that edge actually takes me all the way around to the front of the face. That's not what we want. So what I want to do instead is I actually want to grab it from here. I like these line edges here, and I want to start at the edge of, I want to start at this edge. So I want to go from this edge to this edge. And the quickest way to do that in Maya that I have found is using the multi-cut, where I can click on that vertice and then click over here on the other vertice, and then let's do the same thing on this one. Click on this vertice and click here, and then let's go back to edge mode, select that edge, select this edge, and in the UV selection, now that we have those edges selected, we're just going to go to cut, go to split, and what that should have now done is made this a separate UV, which it did. Beautiful. So now I can click this UV and make sure it's selected. So you see it's not fully selected here. Got to select that one, and here you select that one, and go back in here, and that's just gonna, we need to be in UV. We don't need to be in UV. We need to be in this viewport, not UV mode, because UV mode, we just delete the UV. So now we delete that, and wow, now that's ready to be plopped onto a figure body. And Lashley has no hair or anything, so last thing I want to do is actually click and do mesh display soften edge. And that just kind of smooths everything out here. And now I'm going to go to export selection, documents. Just going to export it to my desired location. All right. So now that I've done that, we are ready to, what I would actually recommend is going into, let's say, I use Substance Painter, but if you want to use Substance Painter or Photoshop, either one will work. Just go ahead and clean up the texture map so that nothing shows that you don't want to show. All right. So I'm waiting on Pic Fed Evolution to pop up. Let's give it a second. All right, nice. So what you can now do is go into figures, go to create new figure, and you'll see the default figure. So you could always use this if you don't really want to deal with making head sculpts from scratch. You can actually come in here and just adjust the head sculpt, and that actually looks a lot more like Lashley than expected right off the bat. And that wasn't intentional. But what I'm going to do is go into custom props, add a prop. This one is going to be called just head sculpt. And this is one of my favorite features about Pic Fed Evolution is you can actually go in and import custom 3D models. So we want to go to head sculpt final, and it doesn't preview it here or anything, but it did bring it up. It's just really small and it's rotated on a weird axis. So what we want to do is I'm just making it bigger so we can see it. So let's make that -90. Oops. And let's make this 180. There we go. So now that is size, that is rotated correctly. Now I think 2.9 is typically a good size to have the head scaled to. And I'm just keeping that other head up for right now. I'm actually going to show you how to remove the other head in about 2 seconds. Alright, so that's that. Next thing you can do is actually import the custom texture for this, which is this. This is the texture for it right now. So I want to import that, confirm. Now we got our head sculpt on, and now we want to go to part visibility and click on head. Bingo. That is now gone. Now what's interesting is this is backwards. So I'm wondering if I did one of the axes negative, which I did not do that. So I'm not sure why the model is backwards. But anyways, you can fix the scale on it by just putting a negative here. Now I want to go back. Let's actually change his body shape. See if I got one that'll fit him well. Thinking he might have to go ripped 1 or ripped 2. Rip 2 is best for him. And then let's go to design. And in design is where you can actually change the color of his body to match the head a bit more. So let's go a bit more yellow, maybe. Yellow. A bit more red. A bit more saturated. Now we're starting to get there. Nice. And then I want to go back to the head. And let's actually bring the head down some more. So that's a lot closer. And it actually does have kind of like a wider head. And yeah, simple. The next steps are pretty simple. If you just want to have a simple figure, just throw on whatever accessories you need. Boots, knee pads, elbow pads. But that's going to just wrap this up because this was just building a simple figure. But what I do want to show you is let's say if you wanted to get some of those cool figures that you see up on Steam Workshop right now, if you go into design and skin, you'll actually see these slots that say custom texture, custom torso, custom arm, custom leg, custom hand. And what that means is that you can import a texture over certain areas. So right now this is custom leg, so that was a bad example because it has tights on. But let's say if we did custom arm and I imported this, you can see now that that is over the arm, that image. And I could clear it out, I could tint it. Same thing with the torso, we could put it on this torso. And I actually have the maps for these linked. So if I click confirm, click back, I hope I put it here. Okay, so let me see something. So I want to show you how you can actually find those links so that you can find the textures. Any second now. All right, so if you go to custom texture resources, this is where you would actually find all of the custom textures. and from here, that's where you would move it to whatever files you need. So let's see if I can open it up. I'm just gonna try to open it up from a browser. So you can actually come in here, and these are all of the texture templates for all of the textures that are uploaded right now. Something else that is pretty cool is that if you go into reference textures, you can see what the textures actually look like aligned. So this will help you with placing all of your textures a lot better. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Hopefully this helps somebody if you were interested in knowing how to make figures. I hope that that helps you out. And I'm just going to show you how to pull the figure up inside of a scene. Just go in here. And hold on. I'll click new scene. Yeah. Okay. Not sure why that happened, but so let's say if we wanted to go in here and import a new figure. If we go and click on Lashley here, he's got a huge head, and then click on Lashley here because that toggles the visibility of the figure. You will see that you now have your Lashley figure in the scene, which is actually dope. Then you can pull them to your desire. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward system, and yeah, that's how simple it is to go ahead and throw a head sculpt on the model and get it inside of the engine. So yeah, hopefully this answers your questions. It helps you figure out how to add custom figures into Pic Fed Evolution, and hopefully you all have fun with it. That's the end of the video. Make sure you check it out on Steam if you don't have it already, and just help me start building this library of this cool tool. See you.